Hi everybody, my name's Devon Janclaes. I'm super excited to be back working with all you APA dancers. I am a former dancer turned Pilates instructor, so dancers are my favorite population to work with. I'm so excited to have this workout for you guys to do at home on your own. A couple things before we start. I don't want to take too long to do this, so I'm going to keep it brief. First off, please listen to your own bodies. If I'm asking you to do something and it's challenging, by all means keep trying. You'll get better, you'll get stronger. If I'm asking you to do something and it's painful, that is a different story. So listen to your body, reach out to me, let me know what was wrong, and you and I can figure it out together, maybe come up with something else for you to do. And then second of all, what I want you guys to focus on in this class, since Pilates is probably new to a lot of you, is to do the movements correctly rather than doing them really big, right? Dancers love to move. We're movers. We like to do things big and strong. I want you to focus on how your body is moving and really listen to the cues I give and focus on doing each little piece exactly right as opposed to bigger or faster. It might be a little bit of a different avenue for some of you to think through, but I think it's going to be good. Lastly, I just had a baby 3 weeks ago, so I am just starting to get back into things. I'm going to be doing a lot of modifications for myself. You are welcome to take those modifications if they help you do things. But just to let you know, I am just at the beginning of getting back into this. I'm just rehabbing myself, so please keep that in mind. And then Miss Taylor has all of my contact information. She has my email, she has my cell phone number. So please feel free to grab that from her. If you have any questions or concerns, I am more than happy to chat with you guys individually. I love answering questions, so please reach out if you need to, okay? So I want you guys to start standing on your mat. You're gonna stand with your feet hip width apart and parallel, so they're not very wide. And you're just gonna stand as tall and straight as you possibly can. You're gonna take an inhale, and then as you exhale, you're gonna let your chin roll down towards your chest. And you're gonna curl your spine. Try to make yourself feel like you're a candy cane. And you're gonna go all the way down as low as you can. You guys are probably very flexible. You have flexible hamstrings, so be careful you aren't sitting backward into your heels, but you're shifting your weight forward over the arches of your feet. So just feel where you are right now. Feel how far you can go. Feel where the tightness might be. And then on your exhale, lift your belly button so high up into the ceiling that it starts to pull you up. Feel how your spine moves, or maybe it doesn't move if it's a little bit stiff, because we're going to do this again at the end of class, and hopefully it's going to feel a little bit different. So you're going to stand nice and tall. Inhale at the top. And then just take a note of how your posture feels, because again, we're going to do this at the end and it should feel different. Go ahead, cross one foot over the other without using your hands. You're going to sit down on the mat, and then you're going to scoot your pelvis to the middle of the mat, lay down on your back, have your knees bent, and your feet are hip bone distance apart. So again, not very wide. You're going to have one hand on your ribs, one hand on your lower abdominals. You're going to take an inhale. On your exhale, you're going to tuck your pelvis, sink your ribs down into the floor, and try to squeeze your hands as close together as you possibly can. And then you're going to lengthen. You're going to let the tailbone reach down into the floor and your top hand slide up. Exhale, pull the top hand down, pull the bottom hand up, slide them closer together. Pause. And then gently pull them apart. Now the trick, you guys, is to be doing this with your abdominals. So your hands should be doing this movement. I'm going to come a little closer. They should be sliding closer together as you contract and sliding further apart as you release, okay? That's what should be happening. And you want to feel like it's happening from your abdominals, not from your legs. So don't power this by pushing with your feet, please. Power it by pulling with your abdominals. Try 4 more. And on the top of your body, I don't want your head and neck making a lot of movement. They should be really nice and still. We're going to do 3 more. See if you can get your top and bottom hand a little closer together without lifting your head, without pushing with your legs. 1 more time, you guys. Exhale, pull it together, sink your lower spine into the floor. If you've got a tight lower back, this will help stretch it out. And then go ahead and release that. So when I ask you to tuck your pelvis, that's what I want you to do, okay? We're going to use that a lot during class. Place your arms down by your sides, take an inhale. Exhale, do that same movement, tuck your pelvis. Your hands aren't there anymore, but imagine they are. Pull those imaginary hands together. Then on your exhale, push down into your feet and roll your spine spine up off of the ground like a slinky, like a snake. Inhale at the top. Exhale and roll your spine back down. So I want you to imagine your spine made up of all those little bones. I know you guys know what a spine looks like. And I want one bone to come off of the floor at a time. So it's really about the articulation or the segmental movement. Inhale at the top. And then exhale one bone at a time coming back down. So the spine needs to be warmed up and flexible to continue into class. What I want you to think about at the top, most of you, again, you're flexible. You have hyperactive lower spines. So what most of you are going to do is this. See how my back is arched and I'm holding myself up with my lower back. What I want you to do instead is contract your abdominals more. Maybe come down a little lower, but get to the point where you feel it in your abs and the back of your thighs, not in your lower back. So that's kind of what I was talking about, right? Doing something correctly instead of just doing it big. So again, rolling up, be conscious. Where are you going to stop yourself? If you're feeling it in your lower back, if your back is arched, you've gone too high. So higher isn't necessarily better in this case. What I'm asking you to do is figure out how to hold your spine with your abdominals, your glutes, and your hamstrings rather than with your lower back. Because most dancers have very strong lower backs, have kind of weak lower abdominals, and we want to change that. We want to even out that balance. We want to get the low abs stronger and keep the low back strong at the same time. We're going to do this 2 more times. Try to feel that articulation getting even better, right? Your spine should be getting more flexible as you warm it up. Careful you're not arching your back at the top. And down. Even if it feels like you're stopping yourself a little early, that's okay. Just try it. Last one. And then come back down. Now bring one leg up. Bring your right leg up to what we call tabletop. That's where your knee is bent at 90 degrees. We're going to do the exact same thing. So we're going to exhale, pull your abdominals in. Don't forget, we're doing that tuck of the abs first. Press down through that left leg, roll up, and then roll back down. Now be careful that you don't arch your back at the top. It's even easier to cheat when you're on one leg. So I need you to keep yourself really strong in your abdominals, even if it feels like you're not going very high, okay? You should feel this very deeply in your left hamstring and your left glute. If you don't feel it there, I guarantee you're arching your back a little too much. So pay a little more attention to that. Now feel your abs contract first. You should still feel your abs working at the top, and you should feel them working all the way down. So it takes a lot of conscious effort on your part to stay engaged in those abdominals. And that's what Pilates is really good at, is training your body to stay connected to your core through movement. We're going to do one more time. This last one, we're going to stay up at the top, so be ready. Exhale, roll up. Hold, check that your abs are working. Lower your right foot to tap the ground and pick it up. 8 and 7. Now the whole time you're keeping your butt high up off of the ground. And 4, got 4 more. 5, we're going to 8. 6, see if you can press your butt up a little higher. 7 and 8. Lift the right leg up and hold. And roll your body down with control. Don't drop. Switch sides. Put your right leg down. Bring your left leg up. Take an inhale. Exhale. Tuck your pelvis. Push down through the right leg and hold. Check at the top. Can you pull your abs in tighter? Can you squeeze your right glute a little higher? And then roll back down. Keep in mind, neck and shoulders need to stay relaxed as you're doing this. Hold. And down. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, rolling up. Inhale at the top, squeeze your abs. Rolling down, so challenge yourself. How much of this can you feel in your abs instead of in your back? It's easier to use your back, but it's better for you to use your abs. And then of course you should feel your standing hamstring and your standing glute. So when you're working on single leg balances in dance, this connection is super important. We call it a tail-heel connection. You might have heard that term before. You have to have very strong connection through the back of your hip, down the back of your leg. That's what helps you anchor into a single leg balance, or if like you're doing turns and you want to pause at the end of that last rotation of your turn, this is what puts on the brakes to help you do that. One more. Get ready to hold at the top. Exhale, rolling up. Stay. Squeeze your right glute. Lower your left foot down to tap. 8 and 7. Inhale down, exhale up. 6, 5. Go a little higher. Pull your abs a little tighter. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift up and hold. Roll down slowly. Place that left foot down. Interlace your hands behind your head. Elbows are a little bit off of the ground. I want you to be able to see your elbows in the corners of your eyes. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, pull your abdominals into your spine. Feel your spine press into the floor. Curl up off of the ground. Reach forward. Grab your legs. Bend your elbows. Curl yourself an inch higher. I want your shoulders off of the ground. Hold this position. Stretch your arms up and back. Interlace your hands behind your head and then lower back down. And again, exhale, curl up. Lower back should touch the floor. Reach forward, grab your legs. Bend your elbows, come higher. Make sure your butt is still down on the ground, okay? Stay here, stretch your arms up and back. Interlace the hands and then lower down. Keep going. So this is an exercise you guys should be getting a lot higher than me. I just had a baby. My abdominals are still figuring out how to work again. So I'm keeping this very small to keep myself safe. You guys should be going up and over. Curl up. Reach forward, grab the legs. Your goal is to get the tips of your shoulder blades off of the ground, but keep your butt down and make sure your abs are pulling in. If your abs start sticking out as you do this, that means we're not holding our abdominals correctly. Curl up, reach forward, grab the legs. Bend your elbows, curl higher. Squeeze your belly button into your spine and keep it there. Stretch the arms back and lower down. We're going to do it 4 more times. So the key point here, guys, is when the arms are going backward. So right here, when I let go, I cannot let my shoulders go down. I have to keep myself curled up, 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 up the whole time. 3 more. Feel that abdominal connection burning. You should feel a line from your sternum to your pubic bone, up and down the front of your torso, and it should be on fire. If it is not, you are not going as high as you can and holding it there. Try not to let your shoulders lift. This is not about your neck and your shoulders. This is all about your abdominals. We're going to do 1 more and we're not going to come down. Curl up. Reach forward, grab the legs. Bend your elbows, come higher. Now again, we're going to stay up here, guys. Hold the chest. Bring the hands behind the head. Make sure your neck is relaxed, but lift off of your shoulder blades. Twist your upper body to the right. Bring it back to the center. Lift off your shoulder blades. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, come back to the center. Lift high. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, back to the center. Now your lower body shouldn't move. If your knees and your hips are swaying side to side, that's not good. That means they're not stable. So keep your lower body very still. Keep your upper body curled up off the tips of your shoulder blades. Again, I'm not super high right now because I'm still rehabbing. I need you guys to lift off those shoulder blades. Keep your shoulders soft away from your ears. Keep your navel pulled down into your spine. So every once in a while, glance at your abdominals and pull them into a flat position, flat against your back. You don't want to see them pushing out towards the ceiling. That's the wrong way to use your abs. Exhale to the side. Inhale to the middle. We're going to do 4 more sets. Keep your elbows within the corners of your eyes. If you can't see them, they're too wide. And on the last 3 sets, I need you to really focus on twisting with your ribs. Make sure you're not twisting with your neck. So I want you to try not to move your head, and I want you to move your rib cage. 2 more sets. Right. Lift up through the middle and left. 1 more each way, you guys. Exhale to the right, lift higher. Inhale to the middle, lift higher. Exhale to the left. Inhale to the center. And then lower everything down. If your abs are not burning, you are not going deep enough. They should be on fire right now. Go ahead and draw your arms out so that they reach straight up to the ceiling above your chest. Use your abdominals and bring your legs up to tabletop. Squeeze them together. Really press your inner thighs like they're locked together. Now, pull the abdominals flat to your spine. Twist your lower body to the right without tipping over, so your arms can't move. Exhale, come back to the middle. Tip your lower body to the left. That means your feet, your knees, your hips, they all tip over to the side and then come back. So as I twist to the right, my left hip comes off of the floor. It's like a clock, tick tock, back side to side. Twist to the left, right hip comes off of the floor. So the goal is to twist your lower body as far as you can without your upper body being affected. So if you feel yourself arching your back, shifting your shoulders, swinging your arms, that means you're moving too far and too fast. So focus more on the stability, more on the control, and feel like your center is what balances you. So it's not necessarily about the upper body, even though we're using that as a cue because we can see it. What really holds you here is your center. So imagine that straight line from your head to your tailbone and squeeze that straight line with your abs. That's your center. We're gonna do 2 more sets. As you figure out how to balance here, what muscles you need to hold on to, see if you can start moving another 1/2 inch to the side without losing your control. So first we have to find the control and then we test it little by little, right? There's a line you don't want to cross because that's where we lose it. But I want you to go right up to that line and challenge yourself. Come back to the center, lower the feet down slowly, straighten your legs out in front of you, and reach your arms overhead. So you're laying down in a very long, straight line. Inhale, lift your arms, lift your head, lift your chest, and look straight at your toes. Scoop through your abdominals, try to press your lower back down into the floor, and curl all the way up off of the ground. So I'm grabbing my legs here to help me through because this is still something I have to practice. Now you're going to stretch forward as far as you can. Look straight down between your legs. Exhale, tuck your pelvis and curl back down. Relax your shoulders. Place your spine down 1 vertebrae at a time with control. You should not clunk down to the floor. And arms go overhead. Don't arch your back. Pull your abs in. Inhale, lift your arms, your head, and your chest. Reach forward. Exhale, scoop. If you get stuck, grab behind your legs like I am and curl your way up. If you do not need to grab onto your legs, please do not do that. That's the full expression of the exercise. Grabbing on with your arms is just a variation. It's a modification that helps, right? Because my abdominals are still healing, so I need a little help to get to the top. Feel free to use that modification. If you don't need it, don't use it. So what I want you to focus on here, guys, is how you're getting up and how you're getting down. So I don't want you to use momentum. If you're swinging yourself up to the top and falling back down to the ground, that's not a roll-up. That's not Pilates. So you need to come up slow. That's why I would rather you use the modification of grabbing onto your legs to do it correctly as opposed to cheating your way up. And same thing on the way down. If you need to grab onto your legs to help you come down smoothly, that's fine. Try not to drop down to the ground. We're going to do it 4 more times, and I hope that you're getting smoother as you go. Again, keep the shoulders out of the ears here. Try not to let the tension come up into your neck. Exhale, curl back. Feel your lower back getting stretched out. Feel your low abdominals getting challenged. 3 more. Inhale, lift the arms, the head, and the chest. Exhale, scoop your way up. Your feet and legs should stay down on the ground. Reach and back. Your abdominals should fatigue as you go, but the movement should actually feel easier because your spine is getting a little bit more flexible. Your abdominals are getting a deeper connection. Reach. Your stretch at the front should be getting better. Your hamstring should be lengthening. 1 more time. We're going to pause when we get to the top. We're going to stay in our seated position. You should be stretching further forward than when you started. Exhale from here. Roll yourself up to sitting. Legs should still be together. Feet should be pointed. Slide your hands behind your pelvis. Fingertips point forward. If that really hurts your shoulders, Feel free to turn your fingertips sideways. That helps your shoulders open. But do not turn your fingertips backward. That's too much twist on your elbow, okay? So sideways or forward. I'll go sideways today. Hands again should be behind your pelvis. Sink into your shoulders. This is where we do not want to be. So now you're going to push the floor away from you with the heels of your hands and feel how it lifts your chest up out of your shoulder joints. I want you to keep that sensation as you then exhale. Pull up on your abdominals. Squeeze your glutes to lift. And then lower down, but lift out of your shoulders. Lift, lift, lift. Inhale, tap your tailbone. Exhale, squeeze your abs, squeeze your glutes. Push down through your feet. Slowly come down, lift out of your shoulders. So it should not hurt your neck. If it does, you're probably sinking down. Exhale up. Lift your chest, lift your pelvis. Lower down. I do not want you to tip your head back because this is not about your head. This is about your hips. Get your butt up in the air. That's the point here. Lift up and out of those shoulders. 3 more times. Exhale, pull up on your abs, press up on your hips. Come down, lift out of your neck, lift out of your shoulders, make your spine longer. 2 more. So the way down should feel like just as much work as the way up. 1 more time, please. Exhale, pull the abdominals in, squeeze your hips and lift, hold. And then slowly come down. Flex your feet, separate your heels as wide as your mat. And then adjust your pelvis so you feel like you're right up on top of your sits bones. Should feel directly above the hips. From here, take your hands behind your head, interlace the fingers. Bring the elbows a little bit forward, and then make sure your abdominals are pulled in so your spine is flat. Most dancers tend to do this. They stick their ribs out and arch their back. So really make sure that abdominal wall is pulled in, your spine is flat as a board. On your exhale, squeeze your belly button and twist to the right. Twist a little further. Inhale, come back to the middle, grow taller. Exhale, squeeze your belly button, twist to the left. Twist a little further. Come back to the center and grow taller. Exhale, twist to the right. Twist further, inhale to the center. Keep going side to side. Your hips and your feet should stay still. They should not slide. I want you to be twisting just from your spine. So this is important because we need large ranges of motion in dance, especially with the spine. And if you can get the spine to twist better and more efficiently in Pilates, then when you're asked to do a challenging movement with that rotation of the spine and choreography, it'll be ready to go. It won't have any kind of problem. Exhale, twist and twist. Inhale, center, grow taller. Exhale, twist and twist. Inhale, center, grow taller. 2 more sets. Remember, if your feet are sliding back and forth, you're twisting from the wrong spot. Anchor your hips and your feet. Keep them very still and make the movement happen in your spine. 1 more. Pull that belly in and up. How much can you feel this in your abs instead of your back? Last one to the left. Come back to the center. Bring your arms down. You're going to curl back and down onto your elbows. So your elbows are underneath you. Don't sink. Lift up and out. Bend your knees and bring your feet closer to you. You're going to exhale and tuck your pelvis. So if your pelvis was a bowl of water, you're trying to spill that water up towards your belly button, okay? Keep that curl. Keep the water spilling towards your belly button. We're going to pull your right leg as close to your shoulder as you can. This part's usually pretty easy for people. What gets challenging is now I want you to straighten your leg and keep it that close to you. Bend the knee, put the leg down. We're going to do the right leg again. So I'm going to show you what most of us do to cheat. The leg comes nice and close, and then as you straighten, the leg goes away from you. You see that? That's not what I want to see. So what we need to do is bring the leg close to you, and then keep your thigh that close to your chest as you straighten. That is what is going to get your extensions to be higher. Because what most of us do is we just straighten the knee, but let the leg go away from us. And that's not a high extension. That's just a straight leg that's low. So what this does is it trains a muscle called your psoas. That muscle has to be strong in order for your extensions to be higher than 90 degrees. Lots of muscles can bring the leg to 90 degrees. To get it higher than 90 degrees, you must have your psoas strong. Last one. Tuck the abs in. Pull the leg close. Keep it close as you extend. Bend and down. Same thing on the left leg, please. Exhale, pull the leg in close. Keep it that close as you straighten, bend, and lower. So if your leg starts to go away from you, you need to stop straightening the leg. So what I would rather see is a leg very, very close to your chest that is only halfway straight, rather than a leg that goes away from your chest and all the way straight, okay? So straightening the leg is not the important part. Keeping the leg close to you is the important part. This is what will challenge that psoas and get it stronger. So you can see, practicing this here, one more time please, is going to help you in your extensions in class. Sometimes those extensions in class come up so fast, we don't have time to think about it, we just have to do it. Whereas here we have time to think, so this is where we practice. And then from here, you're going to push with your hands, bring yourself back up to the top, keep your knees bent, and reach your arms forward. We're going to exhale, tuck the pelvis, start to curl backward. Really think about that scoop. If your pelvis was a bowl of water, you're spilling that water backward towards your belly button. Hold. Float your arms up, lower your arms down, curl forward, and then sit up tall. So this is one that's still really hard for me. If you guys can curl back further, not to laying down, I don't want you to lay down, but if you can curl back a little bit deeper than I am, please go ahead and do that, as long as your abdominals are staying in and your spine is staying curled, okay? If you need a little bit of help, you're gonna hold on behind the thighs, find the curl, lift one arm up, lower it down, pull yourself forward, and sit up tall. And then you would switch and do the other arm. Curl back. Scoop, scoop, scoop. Look at your belly. Make it look like a bowl. Lift the other arm up. And down. We have two more. So you're either alternating arms or doing both arms. So what matters more here is that your abdominals are coming in and your spine is curled. That's the most important part. That is more important than how far back you go. So remember, we're working on doing it correctly, not bigger. With that said, I still want you to do it as big as you can while doing it correctly. Last one. And down. Curl forward. Sit up tall. Now bring your fingertips behind your knees. Elbows are wide. Pull your abdominals in. I want your lower back to stay still. I do not want your lower back to arch here. So your low abdominals are responsible for that. Think about pulling your elbows wide. Lift your chest up and back. Think of your shoulder blades as a shelf, and your chest is trying to arch over that shelf. Now, if your lower back is arched, pull your abs in so that stops. Come back up to the top. This might feel very small, and that's okay. Pull the abs in. Do not move your lower back. Lift your sternum up. Pull your elbows out. Lift your chest up and over your shoulder blades. And come back to the top. The other thing we need to avoid is letting the head fall backward. That's too much movement in your neck. So what we're trying to do here is isolate a very specific part of your spine into extension. This is what makes those beautiful combres happen. If your lower back is arching, you need to squeeze more with your lower abdominals. If your neck is arching, you need to keep your chin closer to your chest. We are trying to arch right in that area around your shoulder blades. It's called your thoracic spine. This is the part of the spine that needs to take up the majority of your arch. Most of us do it in our lower back and our neck if we're not focused. So pull the abs in. Don't arch the lower back. Keep the chin to the chest. Don't arch the neck. Focus on arching just behind the chest, just in those shoulder blades. We're going to do one more. Abs pull in. Pull the elbows sideways. Lift the sternum up to the ceiling and arc around it. Come back up to sitting. Turn towards me. You're going to lay down on your side. Your bottom arm goes out underneath your head like a pillow. Your knees are slightly bent. Make sure your hips are stacked one above the other and your shoulders are stacked one above the other. So I don't want you to be twisted forward or backward. Top hand is on the mat in front of your belly button. Now lift your top leg and straighten it out. I want it parallel to the floor. You're going to point the foot. On your exhale, press the leg up.
On your inhale, pull it down to hip level. Now the key point here is that your pelvis is tucked, so you should feel your abs pulling up on the front, and that your leg is in line with your spine. So I know most of you could lift your leg way up here if you let your hip twist. That is not what we're doing. I'm glad you can do that. That's great. But we're doing something very different right now. So your leg must stay in line with your body. It must stay parallel, and you must keep your pelvis tucked. If you are doing all those things, there is no way your leg can be up by your ear. That is anatomically impossible. So if you're still getting your leg up by your ear, think about what I'm saying a little more. Keep your leg in line with your body, keep your leg parallel, and keep your pelvis tucked. If you're doing those three things, your leg can only go so high, and you will start to get a burn in this side glute muscle. This is called your glute medius. This is very important for balance, and there's a lot of balance involved in dance, right? This is the muscle that keeps your hip under control and in place when you're balancing on one leg. That's why it's so important. Exhale up. Inhale down. You have 2 more times. Lengthen the leg as it goes up. Inhale as it comes down. Abdominals need to be pulling in and up like you're zipping them up from the bottom to the top. Never forget about those. Now flex your foot, externally rotate your legs. So now we want to spin the inner thigh forward, spin the toes up. You're going to bring the leg forward, and then you're going to pull the leg backward. Pull the leg forward, pull the leg backward. So I don't want it going up towards the ceiling. It stays at one horizontal level. It comes forward towards your chest, and then backward towards the wall behind you. Now what I want you to focus on is keeping your abdominals in and keeping your spine still. So if your lower back is curling and arching back and forth, that's not good. That's not stable. So I want your lower back to stay the exact same as you're doing this. It should all feel like it's coming from just the leg. Pull forward and then pull backward. 2 more times. You should feel your abs pull and your hamstring stretch. And then you should feel your glute pull and your hip flexor stretch. Last one, forward and backward. And then turn to parallel, bend the knee, and lower it down. You're going to straighten your bottom leg. Make sure it goes all the way straight, point the toe. Grab onto the top ankle, place the foot on the ball of the foot in front of your bottom thigh. Open the knee. Think like a really high passe position, okay? Pull the abdominals in. Lift the bottom leg off of the floor and lower down. Now that doesn't sound like something that would be hard, but this is something that's still very hard for me. So your bottom leg should be lifting up a little further than mine is, okay? Squeeze your abs in. Use your inner thigh to lift the bottom leg off of the ground and then lower it down. Try not to lift from your toes. That's going to make you sickle. Lift from the inner thigh, right where it meets your pelvis. Can you scoop your abs in and up? Zip them higher. Notice I keep coming back to that idea. It's something a lot of people don't do automatically, so we need to remind ourselves of it again and again and again and again until it becomes automatic, which it will, I promise. But you need to remind yourself a couple thousand times first. 3 more. Lift and lower. 2 more. Lift. Your leg should be getting higher than mine. Remember that. 1 more time. Exhale up and down. Now lower the bottom leg, leave it there. You're going to take your top leg and find a true passe. So take the toe to the side of the knee. Both legs are externally rotated. Pull the knee in and up towards your shoulder. Extend it, bend it, lower it down to tap the knee. Pull the knee in and up. Try to get it behind your top shoulder. Extend, bend, and down. And again, pull the knee in and up. Try to get it behind the shoulder. Now keep that knee as close to your shoulder as it is right now as you extend, bend, and come back down. 2 more times, just like we did with our front extension. So I don't want to see your leg go away from you to straighten. That's totally cheating. Your knee has to stay close to you to straighten the leg. Now keep in mind, I am not a current dancer, so your extensions are hopefully a little higher and a little longer than mine are. Now find that passe one last time. Straighten the leg. Push yourself up to sitting. Swing your legs around to the other side. Lay down. and you're on your second side. So you're still facing me, but you're on your second side. Legs are bent, shoulders and hips are square, abdominals are pulled in. Straighten the top leg and flex the foot. Remember, your leg stays in line with your body as it lifts and as it lowers. Your leg stays straight and does not externally rotate. So if your leg's getting all the way up to the ceiling, you're probably turning out without realizing it. Dancers love to turn out, and that's a good thing. But we can't always be in turnout. There's muscles we need to work in parallel. So exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, get longer through the leg. Inhale down. Again, we're trying to target this side glute muscle. Exhale up. Inhale down. We've got 5 more. Pull the abdominals in and up consistently. If you feel like you're relaxing into the mat, your core is not deeply engaged. I feel like I'm almost floating up and off of the mat because my abs are pulling in and up so much. So try to create that sensation. Let your head, neck, and shoulders relax. That's not what creates the float. The float comes from deep in your core. 2 more. Exhale up. Inhale down. Last one up. And down. Now we externally rotate the leg. So now you get to turn out. Bring your leg forward. Bring your leg backward. So what we're trying to do here is get more mobility in your hip socket while creating more stability in your spine. Try putting your hand on your hip. Your hip should not move. So no matter how far your leg goes back and forth, I don't want your hip to move, right? So when we're doing an arabesque, we want most of that arabesque to come from the hip and just enough to come from the back. It shouldn't feel like it's all coming from your back. Same with the développé front. It should come from your hip, not your spine. So the more your hip stays still on this exercise, the more you're preparing yourself to do those things correctly in choreography, right? Because we take class a million times over and over and over just to prepare ourselves for those extra special times doing choreography, doing performances, being on stage. So we might as well practice the way we need to do it correctly in class so that when we get on stage, it's exactly what we want it to be. 2 more times. Last one. Forward, hip doesn't move. And backward. Bend the knee and lower it down. Straighten the bottom leg. Bend the top leg. Grab the ankle. Place the ball of your foot on the ground in front of your thigh, like a really high passe. Exhale, point the bottom leg and lift. Inhale to lower. So again, I can barely lift right now. This is something I'm still rehabbing. You guys should be lengthening and lifting that leg as high off the ground as you can. But make sure you're lifting from the inner thigh, not from the toes. Toes make you sickle. Stretch through your toes. Lift through that high inner thigh. Pull in and up through the abdominals. Exhale up. Inhale down. We've got 5 more. Nice and long through the body, please. And 3. And 2. Last one. And down. Now your top leg finds a true passe. Exhale, pull the knee up towards the shoulder as close as you can. Keep it there. Extend the leg, bend the leg, and come down. So practicing extensions in this position is helpful because you're not fighting gravity in the same way as when you're standing. You're still fighting gravity, but it's not pressing directly down on your leg like it does if you're standing and doing work in the center. So practicing here is going to make it feel easy when you get to that center. Exhale, pull the knee in and up. It's aiming for behind your shoulder, and then you want to keep it there as your leg extends, right? That's the important part. I would care less about your leg getting straight. I care more about your knee getting closer and closer to your shoulder and staying there. Last one. Pull it. Extend. And bend. And down. Beautiful. Straighten that leg. Flip all the way over onto your stomachs. When you lay down, your legs are going to come all the way together. Squeeze them together, point your toes. Laying down on your stomach, open your arms out to the side in a T, like a second position. Tuck your abdominals in, lift your chest, lift your arms, hold, bring your arms up overhead to high fifth, open them back out to a T, and then lower down. Tuck your abdominals in. Lift your upper body, do not lift your legs. Lift your arms. Bring your arms up to high fifth, open them out to a T, and then lower down. Continue doing that. This is one that, again, I cannot do very big right now. You guys should be doing it a little larger than me. This is what the arms are doing. So from second, you lift your chest, hold the lift, arms come up to high fifth, arms come out to second, you're still lifted, and then you lower down. One more time from this angle, you're going to lift, arms are in second, keep your lift, arms come up to high fifth, arms come back out, and then you lower down. Go ahead, do 4 more. What I want you to focus on here is getting the lift to come from that same thoracic spine we talked about earlier, not the lower spine, not the lumbar, okay? So even if you can't go as high as you can possibly go, focus on feeling the height come from that upper back rather than the lower back. So again, practicing how to make those combres, how to make those back bends look more lengthened, more supported. This is how you do it. Last time, pause at the bottom, bring your hands under your shoulders, push up and back, and sit back to your heels. Feel that stretch through your back. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Inhale, come up onto your hands and knees. Move forward till you're in the middle of your mat. Push-ups. You can do push-ups from your feet or from your knees. I don't care about that part. I care about your form. So if you try it from your feet and feel like your form is slipping, please adjust to your knees. So your 2 choices. Come into a plank position, tucking your toes, or lower your knees down and come into a knee plank position. Either way, your spine should be in a straight line. I'll do a couple of each, okay? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna inhale, bend our elbows in, exhale, push. Inhale, bend the elbows in, exhale, push. If you're doing it from your knees, you must let your pelvis come down with you. Whenever people do knee push-ups, I always see their butt stick out towards the ceiling. That's not a push-up, that's cheating. So, inhale down, exhale up, 3 more times. Elbows coming in. You should feel your arms scrape your waist. 2 more times. Upper body strength for dancers is becoming more and more and more important. Last one. Sit back, stretch the arms. Even ballet dancers are having to use their upper bodies a lot more. People are throwing more contemporary things into choreography, right? So that upper body strength must be there. If you get thrown something in choreography, it's too late to build up the strength. You got to have it before you get there. We got to practice that upper body strength, not just the lower body. 1 more breath here. Inhale, come up onto your hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips up and back. We call this an upstretch position. If you've done yoga, it's kind of like a downward dog. It's a little bit similar. I want you to pick your hips up as high as you can and let your chest sink down. Now, straight arms, straight legs. We're going to inhale, come out to a plank. Hold 5, 4, 3. Pull your abs in and up. 2, 1. Hinge your hips up and back. Let your chest sink down. 5, 4, 3. Straight arms, straight legs. 2, 1. Come back out to plank. If you let your hips go down too low and start to sag into your lower back, that's not healthy. It doesn't feel good, and it doesn't work your abs. So pick your hips up, pull your abs up like there's a bonfire underneath your belly button, and hinge back up. So I would rather you be too high in a plank position than too low. Too high, you can always get better at it, but it's not going to hurt you. Too low can actually hurt you. Come back out to plank. Straight arms. Imagine that bonfire under your belly button. Pull your belly away from it. And then hinge. 3, 2, 1. 2 more times. Feel those upper arms working. Feel that upper body challenging itself. Weight bearing is a great way to work your upper body without feeling like you're having to work against too much weight. right? I'm not asking you to lift heavy weights. I'm just asking you to hold your body up. One more time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees, let them down, untuck the toes. Step your right foot forward into a lunge. Make sure your knee is not in front of your toes. Hands on the thigh. Tuck your pelvis so it feels like you're curling your tailbone down, pulling your abdominals up. Keep your pelvis tucked and start to shift forward. You should feel a stretch up high in the front of your hip. So again, most of you are very flexible. You could sink into a lunge all the way down and not feel a thing. That is not what we're going for right now. Sorry as I lose my balance here. I want you to keep your pelvis tucked under as best you possibly can. Press forward. You should not be able to go more than about 2 or 3 inches before you feel the stretch if you're holding your pelvis and your abs properly. If you let your back arch and your butt stick out, you'll be able to keep going forever and not feel the stretch. So again, do it correctly rather than doing it bigger. Once you've found that stretch, take your left arm up into the ceiling, squeeze your belly button in, and bend to the right. Feel how that stretch gets pulled up into your ribs. Come back up to the top. So the reason this is so important, this is stretching that psoas muscle we talked about. Psoas gets very tight very easily. We must keep it flexible in order to find hip extension. So to get extension into the front and the side, we need the psoas really strong. But to get extension to the back, like an arabesque, we need it very flexible. Switch sides. Left foot is forward, right foot is backward. First off, do not arch your back. Tuck your pelvis under, pull your abdominals up. I need you to do that. Press your hips forward. Feel that stretch. You should find it in about 2 to 3 inches if you're doing this properly, no matter how flexible you are. Even if you're super duper flexible, if you keep that pelvis tucked, keep your abs in, you will find the stretch. Bring the right arm up towards the ceiling. Keep tucking. Bring the right arm up and over and bend to your left. Feel the stretch pull up into your ribs. Come back up to the top. Tuck your pelvis, squeeze your abs, squeeze your right glute. That will help you. And come back up, couple more. Draw the abdominals in, lengthen up and over. And up. If you're arching your back, you're not doing it right. Pull it and up. Stretch up and over. And lift. Bring both hands down to the floor. Bring the left leg back. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips one more time. And walk your hands backward to your feet. Let yourself sink into the spine. Let it hang. Shift your body weight forward over your feet. And then on your exhale, pull the abdominals in and up. Rolling yourself up through that candy cane shape. Inhale at the top. Lift up through your spine. Pull those abdominals in that you've been working on this entire class. Inhale, get a little taller. Let's see if this feels different. Exhale, curl the chin down to the chest. Start to roll. Feel how your spine articulates better. That feels more curled, more stretched through the back, not as tight. You should feel like you can go lower. Should feel like the hamstrings and the spine are longer. Shift your weight forward, not backward. And then as you exhale, pull your belly button so high up that you start to roll up. That connection into your abs should be a little more automatic now. Should feel easier to find and stronger. Pause at the top. Inhale, you should feel taller, you should feel more grounded, and you should feel more supported from inside if we've been doing all of these exercises properly. So I want you to stay here and take another inhale and another exhale. Take one more breath for yourself. Feel how strong and connected you are. And as you finish this exhale, you guys are all done with this first class. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you felt the difference. That's the biggest thing I want you to notice is the difference it makes in your body from before class to after class. So now imagine doing something like this 3-4 times a week. What a difference that's going to make in your strength, your flexibility, and your technique. Pilates is a wonderful tool for dancers no matter what level you are, no matter what type of dance. So I really want you guys to consider that.
Again, if you have questions, positive or negative, if something didn't feel good, if you want to practice more, anything at all, please, please, please reach out to me. Ms. Taylor can give you my email or my cell phone number. I would love to connect with you guys if it would help you. Most of all, I hope you had fun with that, and I hope you enjoyed it and get to do some more Pilates to help your dancing. I think that was a great start. Hopefully we'll be able to do some more classes together coming up soon. Thank you guys.